Welcome to the Six Runs Podcast, episode 10. My name is Beardy Luke, and I'm joined by the most beautiful co-host in the world, Maddox. What's up, bro?
What's up, dude? How
Or
are
should
you?
I say IRL, Maddox?
IRL Maddox, yeah.
Earl, your dad would be laughing out of his boots if he knew your name was IRL Maddox now.
You wouldn't even know what to say.
He loves the word IRL. Anyways, what's up, bro?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that story.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody. We have a freaking fun episode tonight. I'm really excited about it. But before we get into it, how are you, Maddox? Like, what's up? What's popping?
I'm good, dude. I just taking recovery day by day. Life's still going smoothly. And just enjoying Destiny too, of course. Played a lot of trials this past weekend, and that's about it. Nothing's really changed since last time we spoke. How about you, brother?
Good. It's good. Life's good. Filmed a wedding this weekend. It was a good time.
Nice.
It's like
Always stay busy.
It's like 80 degrees in Ohio right now, which is crazy because it's April. It's not usually 80 degrees in April in Ohio. It's usually like
Really?
snowing. So it's been really nice. My little baby boy turned 9 months since the last podcast.
Hell
So
yeah.
he's crazy. He's like waving and crawling. He's got 2 teeth. He's laughing
He's gonna be in high
constantly.
school before you know it.
Dude, don't say that. That makes me feel emotional. But I've been good. I put out my first YouTube video in a long time.
That's right.
Last
Yeah,
week.
it's done really well.
Yeah, dude, it hit 10,000 views today.
Damn. Okay, I didn't see that.
Yeah, and I've gotten a bunch of subs from it, so it's been very encouraging because it's a new
Awesome.
route. It's not Destiny. It has nothing to do with this, but it was fun. It was fun to make. So that's been nice.
Awesome.
So it's been a good week. But have you been playing Destiny this week? That's my
have.
question for you.
I have a lot.
A lot.
Actually.
I noticed. I
More than I
noticed you in
probably
there
should've.
because of the shotgun, right?
Yes. Yes. I've been waiting for this weekend for a long time.
You getting good rolls? I saw you did on Twitter, but we need
I
to talk
did.
about
I got
it.
2 really good rolls. The second one I ended up keeping because it's a better version of what I wanted. But yeah, no, I went into a flawless pool for the first time, like first game after 7, because I had a 7-win card from last night.
Mm-hmm.
And first game I matched with Physics.
Against
And for those
him?
that don't know who
He's a
yeah,
beast.
Yeah, I matched with him and his duo. I got on his team.
Oh
And we
wait, you were
5-0'd.
playing solo and you got
Yeah.
on his team? Oh, you got
Yeah.
lucky then.
I did. And I went to a stream. I was like, dude, hopefully I'm on your team. And then it loaded us in together, and it just wasn't fair.
Dude,
It just wasn't
I've
fair
never
because
seen anyone. We gotta have him on this podcast. We had him on the last podcast we used
we
to.
did, yeah.
But the way he moves in Destiny, it's like unreal. I've never seen anyone do that in PvP.
It's pretty unique, I will say.
But all right, sick. Well, I'm glad you've been playing. I haven't been playing much. It's like that weird season hump where it's like I've just been like going to. We talked about this before the show started. I've just been like going to bed at like 10:30 at night, just being like a responsible adult. But it's been.
Sometimes that's what
I've
it
played
takes.
enough. I've played what I need to play. But let's get our guest in here. We have an incredible guest. He's very close to my heart. I know he is to Maddox, but I met this dude from a raid from another. Not like playing the game raid, but like he raided me. I got raided on Twitch a long time ago by this guy named Susie, and our guest was just in that chat, and we connected then somehow. Kind of like how Maddox raided, got in. That's how we met. So the same kind of scenario happened with this streamer, but it's been cool to watch his journey. But without further ado, let's welcome Aki and Fam. What is poppin', bro? Oh no.
Oh no, his mic.
We can't hear you.
You know, it's funny. I muted when I walked away because the kids were like arguing and fighting, and I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute, hold on, that's my bad,
Bro, welcome.
man,
I learned Luke's an old man now. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Going to
Maddox is
bed
healing,
at
so that's
10:30.
good. Yeah, that's all right.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. If sometimes I wish that video games weren't real, so that I could just go to bed at 10 every night and not ever have to like want to play video games.
Yeah,
Like I guess I could do that, but then
I mean, technically,
then I'd get
yeah.
kicked off for being the host on this video game podcast. So
Indeed.
That's the point. What pro streamer doesn't come on muted? I mean, come on.
hey,
That's
it's
right.
dude, there you don't even know how many podcasts we would start 15 minutes of it.
Oh my god,
and
I think like the first 3 that we had so far.
I had
were-
myself muted on my Go XLR so that you guys couldn't hear me, but I could hear everybody else. But my buttons are all are all black and white, so I can't tell if it's actually muted or not.
You need to fix
That's
that.
awesome.
Yeah, I didn't. I just don't press the button anymore. Anyways,
It's like that's how we fix it. We just don't do that. anymore.
yeah,
It's just
Aki, dude, it's so good to have you. I'm pumped.
wonderful honored you guys have me on. It's wonderful to get a chance to sit down and chat with you guys.
Heck yeah,
Absolutely.
same.
Yeah.
So let's talk about you a little bit. You have a very interesting story, but tell us about your content story, because like this last year and a half, 2 years has been like crazy for you. I mean, like you're partnered on Twitch, you have a
Absolutely.
huge TikTok following, you make YouTube videos, you do shorts. You just recently rebranded from Aki and Peach, that's how I met him, to Aki and Fam,
right.
and he's got like a really interesting, unique like story to how him and his family streamed together that started with like the idea of what it turned into. So tell us about that.
Well, so it all started back in the day with this guy named Susie. Actually, Susie was the very first Twitch stream I ever watched. I knew of Twitch prior to that. I had used to watch for Overwatch League. You could get the tokens, so you could buy skins and stuff. And so I would watch the Overwatch League on Twitch, but I never really like dove into it or anything. And so one day I was reading this article on this website called Kotaku that talked about Susie's stream, and I swung by and checked it out. I was like, this dude's pretty cool, and watched him for a little while, and I was just like, I think I could do this. I'd done radio and stuff in the past, and so I had some experience in broadcasting and doing some entertainment and stuff. And so I sat down with my wife, and I was like, hey, I think I'd like to give this a go. I think there's a space where I can create maybe a place for me and my daughter. That was kind of how I envisioned it at first, to sit down and play games together and just kind of talk about life and things, and demonstrate, a healthy family dynamic, and create a place that can feel like home for maybe those that either don't have one or maybe have a toxic relationship with their home, and just, create a safe place for people to come and hang out and be loved online. So that's the origin.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
And now
I
you
think you've
oh yeah,
I
go
think
ahead.
you've achieved that, by the way. I just want to
Well,
say
thank
that. Like, I think you're doing a great job at that.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
not
that's
one
the goal.
person that I know that has watched you or came in contact with you that was like, dude, I hate that Aki guy. I don't think I could vibe with that channel.
It better
No.
not.
It's like every friend that I have that I introduced to you is now your best friend. Like that's the kind of person you are, which is really cool. That's
Well,
what your
I
stream does to
truly-
people.
I try to treat everybody with the same love and respect that, I feel like I try to treat everybody else like I would want to be treated, kind of thing. And it's, I grew up, I was a bullied kid, struggled with a lot of different things growing up. And so I always want everybody that walks in to feel like they can belong, they have a place to stay and experience, a family kind of relationship and in a healthy dynamic. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's cool, dude. So tell us about the Switch, because I know like in Discord like a couple years ago or whatever, we were talking, and you're like, dude, eventually when Peach is old enough, it'd be so cool. You were showing me this other streamer that like streamed with two cameras on the screen where they were playing together, and you had told me about that, and now you do that. So what's that been
Absolutely.
like?
Yeah, it was kind of wild. It was just one of those things where, as she started to grow older, I actually introduced her to Destiny 2. I think she was 10 at the time. Actually, we just did a little bit of just kind of some basic. Here's what the gameplay is like. Here's how you shoot a gun. Here's how you move around. And as she turned 11 and now 12, she's really kind of grown into her own kind of gamer, and it's been a fantastic thing to watch. And so, speaking of which, my daughter's cat just hopped right on my desk and walked straight across my soundboard.
That was awesome.
So anyway, we ended up building a second PC, and I built the PC to where I could actually capture her gameplay. And we set up, she has just a very basic webcam right now. It's just kind of a Logitech, one of those just basic plug-in webcams and everything. And we worked with Young Khan to update our branding to Aki and Fam, because baby Aki, who you just heard trotting out here, broke his whoopee cushion. He's all upset about that. They started all being part of the stream, and even my wife has played Destiny 2 and everything. So we wanted to make it be something that was more than just me and Peach. It's really the whole family, and we consider our community to be an extension of that as well. So we kind of set everything up so that we could dual stream. And we don't just play Destiny. We play some other stuff like Sea of Thieves. We've played some other really kind of weird games like Muck, and just some other crazy things out there. But Destiny's something she's really, especially as Lightfall launched, we played through the Witch Queen campaign together right before the launch. And then we did the Lightfall campaign on Legendary, like start to finish together twice,
Awesome.
actually. And she has really grown into a gamer of her own right. You know, we've started taking her through raids and dungeons. We do a duality this week, and you know, just some crazy things to watch her grow into her own as a gamer. And it's crazy. She's 12, so I think she's got a really bright future at her.
What is that like, dude? Like, I mean, I have a 9-month-old kid, so I don't really know what it feels like. But I envision eventually being able to play games with him. But what is that like? Like the bond that's there that you get to share with your daughter that may be different for random dads who don't might miss out on that.
I think it's a really special thing because watching her learn and adapt, and like in raiding, for example, Deepstone Crypt was one of the first raids we ever did. At first, it was, you know, I had to have 5 really capable gamers, including myself and her. We carried her through the raid. Now she's doing call outs, she's running scanner, like she's doing mechanics within the raids as we teach her. She can even do last wish. Like, I mean, she is really growing. There's a point of pride there where you sit there and you're like, okay, kid, you get it. Like you're coming along and doing this on your own. You don't need me to just carry you. And this past Friday night, like we did a little bit of trials, and then she's like, I want to try to solo a dungeon. Okay, get at it. And
There you go.
I sat there and I was like, okay, I'll solo Flawless Spire and you just solo Prophecy. And we did that for a little while, and I was, you know, kind of throwing a little bit so that she didn't feel like she was getting too far behind. But I sat there with her, and I kind of coached her through her build, and we talked through some things, and she ended up getting the first boss by herself to a damage phase. Like that's a lot of ad management and survivability, and she's really coming a long ways. So it's to see a 12-year-old gamer try to solo content. That's pretty cool, I think.
That's all.
I appreciate that. I don't even want to solo content. I'm 30. So
You're not going to be the one that goes out there. Was it Evan solo Flawless Root of Nightmares for that however much money they put up there?
Oh yeah, he put $1,000 wager on it or whatever.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Well, then this is a good transition. Tell us about your desk. So like you started, I know when I first started watching, you were more in that variety range, and I know you still kind of do that. Just
Yeah, we
you
still
probably
do.
always will be that way. But you've been
Absolutely.
playing Destiny a lot lately. How did you like what's your Destiny story? I mean, I know it, but I want everyone else to know it.
Yeah. So I actually have loved Bungie for a long time. I played Halo back in the day. I've always been a PC gamer is the thing. I grew up playing on PC, and I've really struggled to do any sort of shooter on console just because I don't know, for some reason, like I can never get the coordination down to aim and do that properly. It's always been mouse and keyboard have been like an extension of me ever since I was, I think, 8 years old. I played Commander Keen, was it small indie company called id Software. You know, they did Commander Keen and then Doom, obviously Quake and all those things. So I grew up on mouse and keyboard. And so when I saw Bungie was sold off Halo, shifted to this game they were creating called Destiny, I was like, man, that looks so cool. Oh, it's locked to console. That sucks. Like, okay, well, so I sit back and I kind of followed it, obviously, as I was going through the motions and all of those things. And when Destiny 2 was announced and that it was coming to PC, of course I pre-ordered it. I played the beta, like I was ready to go. And absolutely out the gate, I was loving it. The Red War I thought was great. We joked, I talked a little bit in the pre-show about time wasted on Destiny. I have 15 hours time wasted on Destiny because I had 2 Titans when Destiny 2 first came out, and you could get like double the gear by playing both characters.
Yeah.
Until Bungie was like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, I did the same.
So,
I had 2
then
hunters.
I, deleted the second Titan. Yeah. But loved it. Played the Red War, played the crap out of Leviathan, and kind of burned out a little bit early on around the Curse of Osiris time frame, and took a little bit of a break, came back strong in Forsaken, and have played it in the background kind of ever since. And once I figured out I could make it kind of a stream thing, started to really lean into it, and played a lot more Destiny 2. For a long time, we've done raids on Thursday nights, but specifically over the past, I would say the past year, it's become more and more of our content to where now it's truly our main game. That's kind of what we focus on.
That's cool,
We still
dude.
play other stuff, but yeah.
I love that that's your main game now. That makes me happy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a lot of fun, and it wouldn't be possible if Peach wasn't as into it as she was. But
That's true.
you know,
If she
it's
was like trying to play Fortnite, you'd be playing Fortnite all night, right? Like,
absolutely. If that was what she really wanted to do, then yeah. But she's really gotten into it, and it's been a lot of fun. We've made some changes to the way that we do Destiny lately. We added a second clan.
oh, I heard
And
about that. That's awesome. Tell us about Book of
yeah,
Clans.
sure. So we had the Warriors of Light. Now we have the Heroes of Light, and kind of what we're pushing towards and what we're doing. I brought a few folks on to help run the community. I want to basically create the place for guardians of all ages and abilities to come and get educated and help on clearing the content that they want to clear, while keeping that family-friendly focus, that positive, reinforcing, leading with kindness, all of the things that we already do. I just want to do it at scale. And longer term, our goal is to work within the infrastructure that Bungie has set up, go into like guided games, and whenever in-game LFG comes into the game, we want to, do stuff like that where we're literally going into the game and helping other guardians get the clears that they want.
Awesome.
That's sick, dude.
There's
I
a
love
lot
that.
of people out there that need the help. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
Heck
And
yeah,
I mean,
bro.
we're pretty PVE focused, so that helps a lot there. But if we get any PvP folks, then hopefully some trials helps at some point soon. But
It's been
we'll see.
cool seeing you pop in. I mean, I noticed on Twitter you saying you're playing trials. I'm like, Aki playing trials? This is
I dip my
awesome.
toe in the water.
He's playing.
Occasionally.
That's
I'm
when
not
you.
great, but
That's when you know someone's getting like really like you're really playing Destiny a lot. Where you've done all your PV stuff. So it's like, all right, what's next? Let's play PvP, where we're gonna get nothing good out of it, but we're gonna feel like we're talented.
yeah, I mean, so we Root of Nightmares has been a lot of fun because it's the first raid where I've ever managed to go. We did it flawless. We beat the Yeet Cannons, which was oh gosh, man,
Yeah, that's tough.
the most inconsistent.
We haven't done
mechanic
it
in the
together
entire
yet,
game.
by the way, which is
We got to
sad.
do that at some point soon. The three of us, we really should.
I'm down, brother.
But yeah, we did it. It's the first raid I've ever done all start to finish on flawless. First raid I've ever done start to finish on master too. So that ship, by the way, looks freaking sick. The shaders, I don't think there's a bad shader on that ship. Like,
No, it looks
awesome.
good. That ship's sick. It's a good master finish ship.
yeah, absolutely.
Heck yeah, bro. Well, your story's cool. I love it. Do you have like I will ask this before we get into some more, but why family friendly? Where does that stem from? Like, what makes like what is some of the stuff you share on your stream that others might not share?
Sure. I think for me, so one of the things I always say is people don't have to believe the same ways I do to belong as part of our community. But I'm Christian, and so that means I adhere to certain values, specifically in regards to my family. I love having my kids around. I love having my kids involved. A family is kind of front and center of everything that we do. And just for me personally, when I'm around my kids, I don't like to cuss, and I don't like to, joke about certain topics because there's kids in the room and they're pretty innocent, and I want to preserve that for as long as I can. And so it's not that I don't play with folks that do all of those things, and I think that's perfectly fine. It's just that I choose not to have that around my kids. So I try to make that a focus. And I want people to feel comfortable when they're in my stream to know that, hey, you never have to worry about having our content on the TV, no matter who's in the room. Like you just never have to worry about that. And so that was a big rule I made when I first started. One of the rules that has been hard to stick to that I made when I first started was I'm never going to play an M-rated video game. That's been tough because Diablo 4 is about to hit, and I love the Diablo series. So
You have to make a different Aki channel, Aki at night.
right? Yeah, Aki After Dark. Like here's all the M-rated content. Like even the Persona series. Aki comes from the Persona series. I love those games. I love those RPGs. And the next Final Fantasy title is going to be M-rated. So yeah, that's a tough thing.
Wait,
but
your real name's not Aki? I'm just kidding.
yeah, right. Shocker. Woo. Spoiler alert.
Sick, dude. All right, bro. Well, let's talk about this game. What's going on,
Let's
Maddox?
do it.
What do you got for us tonight?
So we have quite a few good things to talk about. We're gonna start by asking Mr. Aki, kind of what we've been asking all of our guests over the past couple weeks, and that is how has Lightfall how has Lightfall been for you? So of course we know Lightfall is probably one of the most advertised DLCs in Destiny history. And just take us through, because like you were saying before the show, like there's a lot of differing opinions on Lightfall. So how has it been for you going? You got your daughter into it, so I'm sure you hopefully may have some nice things to say about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I think from you know, a PVE content perspective, and I think the campaign was fun. I think that the experience of playing the campaign was kind of like playing a movie, especially that final battle when you're fighting alongside Keitel, and that massive
Yeah,
kind of cinematic scene where you're fighting the Cabal and everything. That was a lot of fun. I think it was good. I think we got spoiled a little bit by Witch Queen's narrative being really tight and focused, and it told a really, really, really good story. And I don't think that Lightfall told as good of a story within the campaign itself. I think
I
the stuff
totally
that
agree.
came after the campaign and maybe some of the lore items helped fill in some of those blanks. But I mean, the veil is a huge meme at this point. But you know, it's like
Right.
it was one of those things. Peach still is just like, what is the veil? I'm like, I
That's
will
true,
try
dude.
to explain it to you when I can.
I would love a kid's perspective on that campaign because like I only hear it from my
She
adult friends.
loves
Like,
the fight with Callus. That's like
okay,
her favorite thing ever. She went back in like intentionally on her own she solo flawlessed it, not normal, but solo flawless the fight on Callus by herself. Like she just loves that fight. She really enjoys it. She loves Strand has been huge for her. She
That's
really
awesome.
loves that as a whole. Like she discovered during one of our campaign playthroughs that she could strand onto a sparrow. And just like the pure joy that she experienced in doing that and the way that she laughed was great. There was a moment where we were doing her week 1 carry of Root of Nightmares, and she was like chilling, hiding, like trying to not get killed by ads.
yeah,
And she was down like on the light side, all the way in the back, down behind the plate. You can just chill back there. She was back there just hanging out, but the white mechanic was about to go off, and I was like, "Oh, it's okay. You know, we'll res you. We have plenty of tokens." She pops out, uses Strand to swoop in and hits the plate at the last possible
dude. I think I
second.
saw that
Like,
clip. I saw,
dude,
dude. That was awesome.
just the instincts that she's building is fantastic. But I think overall, I think Strand is way better than Stasis. Let's be real.
Oh,
In
definitely.
regards to like a subclass edition. So if you're looking just from the perspective of, because Witch Queen told a great story, didn't add a ton to the game in regards to like class diversity and all that stuff. Lightfall, less stellar campaign, but the Strand edition of Strand has been a breath of fresh air for at least my daughter. She loves it.
I totally agree. I think you hit the nail on the head with everything you just said. Strand has been awesome. The storytelling kind of lacked, but you know, just the overall campaign itself was fun to play through, but you know, kind of left you wanting more in
I
a
have high
sense, you
hopes for
know.
the final shape. I think Bungie's gonna
Yeah,
bring everything to
same.
a close
I
in a
think we
really
all
nice
do.
way. Yeah.
And I feel like we almost I feel like we almost have to have high hopes for it, you know, at this point.
It might be a little desperation of high hopes, but you know, high
Yeah.
hopes.
All we
That's
ever
right.
do is have high hopes for the next thing, and this is the last thing, so it better be good.
Well,
Right,
last,
right.
right? Final part of the Light and
Last.
Dark saga. It's
Yeah,
kind of like, so
last.
Final Fantasy 14 is another game that we play, and you know, they just went through the Endwalker expansion, and that's supposedly the end of the current arc, and they're getting ready. Whatever their next expansion is going to be a new story. So we'll see.
I'll be curious to see, you know, I mean, I think it'd be really cool to see how Light and Dark ends and then just what happens afterward. Like because we always think about Destiny as, you know, light and dark, and you know, the darkness has always been following us, and then we
Yeah.
have this and that and ghosts and guardians and power and all that stuff, and then it's like what can Destiny be without all that stuff, if that makes sense, you know.
One thing I did like
I'd be
about
curious.
Lightfall's story is I feel like we learned a little bit more about the nature of the darkness. Thank you, kitty cat. You're gonna go in the bedroom.
I thought he was like telling a joke.
That was a perfect.
Okay.
The darkness. It has been a joke.
But Osiris just talks about how darkness isn't. We always think about light and darkness as being like opposing forces. And the light is more. How did you phrase it? Something about spiritual, and the darkness is physical, or something along those lines. Anyway, it was just a change in our understanding of the darkness itself isn't the threat the witness is, which has been an
Mhm.
interesting way to kind of come around on just the whole light versus dark saga. And so
Be cool. It'd be interesting to see how they finish it off. I'm all for it, of course, either way. So
absolutely.
well, also, I'm glad you guys have enjoyed it. I'm glad your daughter's enjoying it as well too, because
Yeah.
you know, if I could go back and play Destiny for the first time all over again, I damn sure would do it. You know, like just have
Absolutely.
that feeling, because I think I speak for all of us when we say we just love the game and what it's done for us. You know, so
Absolutely.
cool. Well, here's one thing that I want to talk about as well too, and this would be our next talking point is.
Okay.
I consider I spoke to you before, and I personally consider myself now, and you, Aki, and probably Luke as well too, more casual players of the game.
Sure.
Mainly because, you know, we're getting older. We have full-time jobs. We have this and that and this and that. You have kids.
Yeah.
And you just don't have as much time to sit at home after your work day and play 8 hours until 2 a.m. and stuff like that. You
Yeah,
know, doing
absolutely.
solo content, master content every day, getting everything done by Wednesday, you know, resets, you know, and then you're on for the weekend. So it's just, I think it's safe to say we all don't play as much as we used to.
Yeah.
So what do you feel is especially, and I also wanted to talk to you. We're going to talk more about how you like your daughter's perspective as well too. So kind of keep
Sure.
this more like with your perspective of like whenever the TWAB comes out, like you have less of a reaction of things that come out because you don't play as much, or kind of just take us through like just the game, like playing so much back in the day to kind of now, if that makes sense.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is also funny because Amphi is in chat right now. The dude who just
Bro.
passed 10,000 hours.
I know.
Oh,
Saw
yeah.
that on Twitter the other day. I'm like, oh no, Amphi.
Sorry,
Amphi,
Amphi,
dude.
we're
So-
not calling
we're
you
not
out.
calling you out, Amphi. We wish we
It was
could play
perfect
10,000
timing.
hours.
Man. Bro, I think he has like every try or every title in the game.
He's a
right? Like,
completionist,
it's-
yeah.
Oh man.
Hey,
Dude, I
I-
used to do that all the time. I used to be that guy. I would platinum every single game I get on PlayStation. And I can't do
Well,
that
tell
anymore.
us
Like,
about like what's changed. I mean, of course, like, you know, introducing your daughter into the game and stuff like
Absolutely.
that. Like, me personally, of course, I've been through a lot over the last couple months, but also just like overall, like I started nursing school and
mhm.
just different things that just come up, and you just almost realize like completing certain things in the game isn't as important for my social life or for my Destiny life as it is, you know, now, if that makes sense. I guess that's just a
Yeah.
part of getting older in some way. Of course, like you realize the, you know, importance of a video game compared to what
Touching
it used
grass.
to be, you know, and yeah, touching grass, which I've done a lot
Bro,
of
I
recently, but
touch grass professionally.
That's right.
professional
You get
grass.
paid to do it.
I get
Beautiful.
paid to touch grass constantly.
Too mad. No, I think you know, it's always it's challenging. I feel like there are so many things. Like I love the challenge of a Grandmaster Nightfall. I love the challenge of the Master Raids. I love different challenges and things in the game, but I feel like if I'm not hanging out with somebody like Amphi or Mano or some of the other folks I've had the privilege of running with, like
Mhm.
that know the pass, that know like the ways to get the clear easily, I sit there and bang my head against the wall. Like I just,
Yeah.
man, it's difficult to sit there and have that knowledge because I just don't. I don't have the time to spend in the game like I used to. TWABs, I'll definitely read through the TWAB because I think they're really, really interesting. But I have kids, and that's
There you go.
it's just it's ever since Peach was of a certain age, I would say 3 or 4 years old probably, when she was really fun to hang out with and to go do things with. It was like, okay, well, I don't want to be inside sitting in front of my computer as much. I want to be experiencing life with my child and making memories and spending time with them. It helps a lot that she's into Destiny because between that and watching anime now, that's kind of how we make memories together. And then, you
Mhm.
know, this afternoon, instead of coming home and sitting, I was going to grind out some job quests on Final Fantasy 14, but I decided to take my son out on our side by side and go get stuck up in the mountains. And you know, it was
That's
a
awesome.
fun afternoon, but you know, it's those kinds of things. You know, I don't have time like I used to sit and grind and be a completionist. I think it's worth it in the long run, but it definitely means that I'm not as high end as I used to be in my early 20s, you know?
Mhm. I just remember those days, like Tuesday reset would hit, or even TWAB Thursday, and I'd be like looking for ads across this video, like refreshing YouTube, like, oh my god, what's changed? What's changed? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, what's the
Oh, I
meta
can't believe
now?
they're
What's the
changing this.
shift?
Oh, blah 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 blah. And of course, that was back whenever, like, before I ever started streaming and stuff like that, where
Mhm.
I didn't really have an online, you know, alias and, you know, an online reputation of any sorts or anything like that. I was just a consumer of the game, you know, playing with
Yeah.
my clan back in the day on PlayStation. And dude, it's just every night I'd come home, Destiny, 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 Gym, Destiny, just Destiny, Destiny. And it got to like, and then of course I took the leap into streaming and stuff like that. And that's just a whole different story. But now it's just like a TWAB comes out, and I can't even tell you the last time I read through a TWAB.
Bro, there's too
Mm.
much words in there, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, yes. I mean,
It's
I
like
just- I mean,
bro. It'll say weapon changes. It'll be like this long. I'm like scrolling all the way to the bottom. What's the movie of the week?
Yeah. That's honestly one thing I truly do look and see what the movie of the week is, but I don't know. Like, it definitely helps me being in a team of content creators as well too. Like we are in Six Fronts, where like they are so invested in this video game,
Oh,
where I'm
yeah.
like I can kind of lean on them in a sense.
Yep.
But dude, if I
Same.
was on my own, I just feel like I wouldn't really pay much attention to things that are changing. I wouldn't really know. Like there's always I have a lot of friends talking about like, oh dude, that's not good anymore and stuff like that. I'm like, when? Since
Yeah,
when did
Bro,
that
what are you
change?
talking
Yeah.
about? It
What do you-
is
What do you mean
good.
I
All
can't
right.
use
Dude,
your
just a
fusion
couple
rifles
weeks
anymore?
ago. What do you mean it's not good anymore?
Dude, that's
Yeah.
been my least favorite thing as a casual player is every season coming in and then like I'm not that smart when it comes to like my video game limit is like there's a certain line where it's like I'm really good up to a point and then I just don't push this past. So like when it comes to my point on video games is like builds. Like I don't really want to think about what's a good build. I want someone to just tell me what's a good build. So like I'm never going to
Sure.
be like I know what this does when this is and this and if you do this you stack this like don't know. Tell me weapons I need to use.
3 surges in your feet. You're good.
Yeah, see, I literally just to be like Aki, send me a screenshot. I would copy it thing and then boom. So whenever I go into a new season, I'm always like using my same build and like, oh, that's crap now. I'm like, why is it crap now? What are you talking about? Well, that was in like the 15 paragraphs that you skipped on the TWAB. I'm like, oh my
So
gosh.
actually, speaking of that, one thing I will add to like Destiny 2 from a casual perspective and Lightfall, one thing I really like about this season for builds and all of those things is the artifact changes. You don't have to
That's
slot
good,
mods into your
yes.
build anymore. They're just
Agreed.
active.
I like
And
that
you can
too.
reset it for free, and you can change your build. And
And just the
that's
loadouts
really,
in
really
general
cool.
as well too has helped me out.
Unless you broke your
specifically.
loadout, which I did. I figured out how to crash yourself out of the game repeatedly. Apparently, if you have 2 of the, gosh, I forget what it is. I have 2 things in my class mod on my loadout that I save for day 1. That now every time I click it, I get weaseled out of the game.
Oh,
So
I
have to
saw
override
someone.
it.
Yes, I saw that on Twitter. Someone did that.
Yeah, I was like,
You have to.
"Damn,
Like, I
that
didn't
sucks."
ever like look really into it. But yeah, I saw where he's like he found a bug where like if you put the loadout on because of this and that, it just kicks you out of the game. That's crazy.
Yep, still hasn't been fixed.
Oh Lord,
It's crazy.
That's wild.
I think here I'll give my perspective on because my casual experience is a little different because I probably once I got married, like I've never really been the guy outside of when I was in college that like because I got married right out of college. I got married when I was 21, so I'm 30 now. So the last almost 9 years I've been like with somebody at all times when I'm at home. So
Yep.
I've always like respected my wife's like time with based on how I know that she likes to be loved, where she loves quality time. So like the last thing I'm gonna do when I get home is go to my office and play Destiny the whole entire evening. You know, like I'm gonna hang out with her. So I've always kind of
Yeah.
like lived on like the later edge of playing games. So I usually play after she goes to sleep. Now she doesn't go to bed that late. So like earlier on in our marriage, I'd be playing till like 2-3 in the morning because I was really young, and she'd be in bed like, "What are you doing?" Like this
Right?
is normal. Okay, you got to get used to this. And then over time, as I've gotten older, as much as I didn't want to believe it, people said like, "You're gonna get more tired at night. Like you're not gonna want to."
You're going to like this thing called sleep.
Yeah, I didn't think it was possible, and it's happened over time. And my love for video games is, it's not like it's bad. I
Dude, there's
still,
this wall at 30. Like after 30, bro. If I need my at least 6 hours. If I don't get 6 hours, I'm angry.
I'm
boy.
kind of there right now, like especially now that we added a kid to the mix. But
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that that whole what I'm trying to frame that as is like I've always wanted to be the kind of gamer that's a completionist that is not. I can't be. I know like I can't be like Amphi. I can't like get everything done. I wish I could get to that point. But there's like a mid ground. So like I've always been like, all right, I'm gonna get all the seals done. That's like my thing. I will always get the seals done. So I've kind of tried to live by that, which is it's still difficult. Even now, it's even more difficult than it used to be because like all I literally have to do, like this week, all I've done is the master challenge thing, and then I need to
Yeah.
go in tonight and do the legend, the weekly heist or whatever for the seasonal seal, and then I'll be done for the week.
There you go.
That's kind of where I have like a cycle at the beginning of a season. I go as hard as I can and I get no sleep like I was 21 years old again for maybe like a week and a half till I get sick. And then I take a break and then I just do like my weekly stuff. And it's
You're ready for the
fun.
day 1 raid at that point.
Yeah, yeah. And it's fun, but like you said, Aki, I've had the honor like when I was streaming and I met all these awesome people. I'm in a team full of content creators. When I'm playing with them,
Awesome
there's just like
content creators.
different when you want to do end game stuff. with people that can do it fast. You know what I mean? And then when they're not available or they're all asleep or you're like don't want to bother them, it's like, oh my gosh. Like, do I
Yeah.
really have to get on LFG and hope that I can find someone that doesn't have a mic that will? Because I don't ever like. That's another thing I've been very antisocial lately. If I'm on LFG, I just try not to talk to anyone. So I try to just do no mic stuff.
Yeah,
even if it's end
absolutely.
game. So the casual experience for me it's been nice, but it's also like the cool part is that I'm in the same boat as you, Maddox. There's just like a lot of stuff in life for me that is a lot more important than playing games. Like I think it's
Yeah.
my fun hobby that I like to think about during the day and like stay up to date with on Twitter and like when there's trailers and when the hype stuff's around.
Yeah,
It's hype.
absolutely.
But on the other end, like now my son's 9 months, like we're like it's
Sure.
getting nice out. I can like take him outside, go to the park, do all kinds of stuff. Bro, I can already see my casualness going even further because he wakes up at 7:30 every day. That's when he wakes up, and I get him up in the morning. So like I gotta be awake at 7:30. So now I'm
That is
noticing if I'm staying up late,
early.
yeah, I'm like
Ooh.
if I'm staying up late playing Destiny till 3 in the morning, there's gonna be some major consequences with the way I feel the next day. So I'm like, some days I'm like, it just depends on where we're at in Destiny. So right now I feel like it's the end of this like light dark saga. I'm kind of just in like as casual mode as it gets. Get my seals done, hang out the homies if they want to hang out, get out of there kind of deal.
Yeah.
I'm not even streaming right now, so it's a whole thing. But anyways, that's a long-winded answer, but that's kind of where I'm at. I love this game. I love my friends in this game. I wish I could connect with them more, even you guys. But I'm pumped that all three of us get to experience life because there's a lot of life outside of the digital world
Absolutely.
that is very
Absolutely.
like I think some of the relationships, even there's two dudes in here that I've met in real life and on the internet that I consider some of my best friends in the world. We met on the internet, but then like there's like this even better world of that outside of the internet too that I luckily get to experience. So like there's just trying to combo that. It's tough sometimes, but I'm glad that you guys get to do it too. So
Absolutely.
It's a fun
Absolutely.
challenge. I mean, I kind of no-lifed a little bit right before Lightfall dropped because I was determined to get every single craftable weapon in the Witch Queen seasons because they were doing, the daily. You could
Yeah.
get one
Oh
div.
yes.
So I went through and because I hardly had any weapons completed. I went through and I did one. I like had a whole spreadsheet. I calculated out, okay, what do I need to do per day to get it done? I got it done. I got every single craftable weapon from last year. So I was pretty happy
dude,
about that.
I'm glad you did. I wanted to, and I sat down to do it, and I had to like get like the seasonal currency, so I had to do like three
Yeah.
containments. I'm like, I'm good. I'm just gonna not have this.
I did all
stuff.
that. Now I only ever use retrofit, so it's all good.
There you go.
Hell yeah. Well, let's do a little team bonding. How about that? Let's
Yes,
do
let's
Ooh,
bond.
what we love as we've evolved here as a podcast. We like to do a little game type segment, and in this
I like
case,
games.
last week the last stream we did a tier list, and I found a good one. For this week. So
Oh,
we are gonna
dude,
take
we're
our
doing another
turn.
tier. I'm
We're
pumped.
doing another tier list.
I feel like this
one
like
is going to be destination.
oh,
in
sick.
Destiny.
This is
So,
fun. I don't even. This is how unorganized I am these days. I don't ask Maddox to tell me what we're talking about on podcast. So this is just as a
we
big.
just do it.
You
This
just
is
roll with it.
This is big of a surprise for me as it is you, Aki. So this should be
Let's
fun.
go. Okay. Okay.
So we're gonna go in order. Aki says he's never played D1, so we're gonna go in order of left to right. And if you haven't, of course, played D1, Aki, then we'll skip you. And
Okay.
but we'll give you more D2 stuff, so we can obviously get more of a input from you. So
Okay.
I will let's see. Let me get it pulled up here. So again, this is Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 destination tier list. What we're gonna do, of course, we go one by one. We don't have to agree. We just want to know where you're gonna place it and why, and then we'll go one by one back and forth, and we'll just tell each other whether we agree or not.
Okay.
Alrighty,
Sounds good.
Mr. Aki, I will give you the first one. It is the moon.
We've
Give
awoken
me
the hive.
moon. Moon's haunted.
The moon is haunted. Where are you
Um,
placing that as a?
Are we
as a
talking about like the
destination?
moon as a whole, like right now, with
Right now, yes.
including the duality dungeon?
Yes, everything that's on the moon counts.
Okay. I'm gonna put that Garden of Salvation rates there too.
That is true. That's true. It's
I
got a
really, I
dungeon. It's
really
got a
like
raid.
both
It
of
has
those
a whole
experiences. It's got
entire.
Sorrow's Harbor is really cool. It's got some really neat lost sectors
Wait,
too.
shoot, is the Black Garden stemmed from the moon? I thought the Black Garden came from Mars, not Mars, Venus.
Entrance to the Garden of Salvation is on the moon, technically speaking.
That is true.
That's true. I'm just saying, like, the Black Garden, which is where Garden of Salvation is. I wonder if you can get the Black Garden from different planets. I actually don't know.
Is it Venus? Is that where it's located? I don't know. It has more of a Venus look to it.
It definitely has a Venus vibe, but the entrance is on the moon. I'm gonna give Moon. I mean, Shadowkeep as a whole was not my favorite expansion, but I really like the moon as a destination. I'm gonna put that as a tier destination personally.
Okay. I think it's S.
Yeah,
truly
I think it's
it's-
S, bro. Like,
I think
just
it's S tier.
I'm thinking about all of the other places. So
if
it's
you
like,
played,
okay,
I think if Aki played D1, he'd have it in S. I think D1
That could be,
players
that could be.
connecting the moon, like from
do agree.
its lore from the front to the back is like it's a very important place.
Dude, you think about like what they're bringing out now, like with Neomuna and like all the different places and stuff like you can go to. The moon is 3 times as big. You have the whole like Temple of Crota. You have all the underneath
All the
stuff in
tunnels and
moon.
stuff. Yeah.
You have,
You
of
don't-
course, everything that's on the Hellmouth. I think Moon is probably one of the, I think the Moon is Destiny. Like I truly think that the Moon
That's
is like
dude, same.
representational.
And I would much rather listen to Eris Morn chatter in my ear personally. That's all I'm saying.
We've awoken the hive.
Yes. I agree with A, but I think it's S. So.
Okay.
All right, Dreadnought. I have the Dreadnought. I think this is an easy S tier.
Yes, sir.
I think it's the easiest S tier I've ever had in my life.
Yes,
Dreadnought's one of the
sir.
coolest places. Oryx is one of the coolest places. Taken King's one of the coolest
I love
expansions.
Taken King Raid. I would agree for sure.
King's Fall's fantastic. Court of Oryx is so cool. You have all the different stuff as well too. The D1, like the Dreadnought and D1, like as a whole. Of course, we don't get to see much of it in Destiny 2, of course, just like the court area. But
Yeah.
fantastic. So many secrets. The story was fantastic. I think Dreadnought's S tier without a doubt.
Same.
Cool.
Mr. Luke, Venus. D1. This is D1 exclusive, so think about
Venus.
Venus.
I'm gonna be honest here.
this is the OG
I'm gonna
OG
throw
spot.
I'm gonna throw Venus in the B
Okay.
because
Hmm.
it's a good location. It's cool. And now the best part about it is that, like, honestly, I think the only thing good about it is that the Vault of Glass entrance is there, and you could help whenever. So like you could be in a public event area, like just chilling, and you could help people that were like getting into there during D1. So like,
Forget about
Pretty
that.
cool.
so like if that entrance thing, you could like roll by and help if you really wanted to whenever that was happening. So you couldn't like go in once it started, but yeah, I would just give it a B. I mean, it's not very big. It's kind of forgettable. I think there's a lot of lore there that could have been cool to hear about because I
I agree.
think that's technically where like the Vex first went whenever they came to this system. I don't really know. I'm not a lore guy, but yeah, I'll say B. What do you guys think?
I can agree with B. I think B is a good spot. I think as like I think it's probably one of the better patrol areas, and it had a lot of cool strikes back in Destiny 1. I would go B. I think B is a good spot. I agree. And Aki said he hasn't played D1, so he hasn't even
Yeah,
seen
I have
Venus.
no opinion.
Well, he's seen it. He's played Vault of Glass. That's Venus.
Oh, that's barely anything.
Venus isn't very big though.
There's a lot to it though. You think about all the strikes. You have the catch there as well too, where like almost like a Tanix looking area was, and then there's just I think Venus is a little bit bigger than we might think there, Mr. Luke.
I'm talking patrol. Yeah,
Is that the cat again?
the cat loves the buttons.
She was running from the dogs. That was the best part about it.
Oh Lord. All right, Aki, back to you. We have the Tangled Shore. This is an interesting one because
I love this one. This is Forsaken, right? I mean, this
Forsaken,
is
yep.
the site of the beloved Cade 6 death, the birth of
Rest in peace, baby.
man. Just I don't know. I really liked the Forsaken campaign as a whole. I thought it was a lot of fun. It has my favorite lost sector of all time, which is the empty tank. Love that lost sector. I would literally just sit in there and watch the Fallen in a bar setting and listen to that music. and I would just sit there.
Wait,
and
is that
just
the one where they're like with the
Hope for
like
Future would
DJ?
play in there, and yeah, just stuff would rotate
Yeah.
on and off. It was, man, so good.
Great placement.
I'm gonna put Tangled Shore as an A tier destination. I really enjoy the Tangled Shore.
I agree.
really like that.
That's an easy agree for me. I don't think it's S. I don't
Yeah.
think it's B. I think Tangled Shore. You know what? Honestly, one of the coolest things about Tangled Shore was all the bandits that you had to go kill and all their like specialty areas and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I think that's really underrated. I
And
really do like the
was it
Tangled
the
Shore a
season
lot.
of the hunt or whatever where you had to go around? It was with Osiris and Crow, and you were doing
Yeah.
all of the
Yeah,
man.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
Season
a
of
lot
the
of fun
Hunt.
in that.
I liked
Yeah.
that. I like Tangled Shore. I think that that's right. I'd probably keep it in the A slot, potentially B, only because I thought it was so fun. But like I'm at the point where like I'm cool that it's vaulted. Like I don't actually ever want to go back there. That's my like I don't have like the itch
Miss
to
out
go
on
back to
Lost
Tangled
Sector.
Shore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
it's
can
a
feel that. It makes sense.
it's a cool spot. It's a cool spot.
All right, it's my turn. We got Mars D1 version. So they separated Mars D1.
Oh, that
They
makes
didn't-
sense.
They
I mean,
didn't
it's
separate the
technically
moon.
it's D1 Mars. We don't have D1 Mars in D2.
That's true. It is completely different.
Yeah.
It is completely different. I forget. So D1 Mars, I might be a little bit harsh here, but I'm gonna go C tier.
Hmm.
I don't think there was really much to it. I think the lore is pretty cool, but I don't know. As like you didn't do there wasn't a lot of like missions and stuff like that whenever D1 first came out. I don't really have much to say about it. I don't really think there was very much to Mars as a whole.
I'm with you because it was supposed to be like a city looking thing, like a deserted city desert thing. And honestly, I mean, it was just a place I went to go finish bounties. And Vox, the Vox mission is technically some
That
of
is
that.
true. Yeah, the Vox mission. So we do have a little bit of
Interesting.
D1
But
Mars
it's still
in
like,
D2.
I mean,
It
it's
is
the
still
first. It's
completely different,
the first like nightfall I ever did was on there. It was whatever. Is it Calista Arc? Is that what his name is?
Yeah.
Um,
Valis to Arc.
Valis Arc. You hide under the steps and
Yeah.
just ping him the whole time. That's the only thing I remember from that Mars area, and some of the areas. But I'm with you on that. It's a cool looking area, but it's like kind of useless.
Kind of agree. Mr. Luke, you have the Cosmodrome.
Oh, bro.
OG.
I'm gonna get so much crap for this because I love the Cosmodrome, but I'm putting. All right, I'm very optimistic. I'm putting it in the S tier
Okay.
because it's
Really?
where we started.
Okay.
So when you say the moon is destiny to you, Cosmodrome is destiny to me. Like I played the alpha in Cosmodrome, I played the beta in Cosmodrome.
Mhm.
Like the thing that I actually put it in the A tier. All right, only because
He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. Well, Grasp of Avarice is in Cosmodrome.
Actually, no. Put it back in the S tier because
Oh my God.
because we have the Plague Lands. That counts. That's technically the Cosmodrome.
Plaguelands is different.
Oh,
They've separated the
okay.
two.
Put it back to the A tier. So it's like perfect the way it looks in the Destiny feel, like original Destiny feel. There's just not enough. It's like a tutorial playground. You know what I mean? At this point, like there's
Yeah.
not really anything
Well,
happening
technically,
there.
the New Light experience. That's where you
Yeah.
spend all your time, right? It's Cosmodrome. So.
Yeah.
But it's like my favorite place to go in Destiny. Like I don't even care if there's nothing to do in there. I love driving around. Like it's just a beautiful location. I love it.
I do agree.
But as I said S tier, I realized it's like in my like mind it's S tier for just me specifically. But if I'm trying to like put other people's perspectives in there, I'd say it's A.
Okay.
But it probably isn't even A to most people.
I agree with you. I agree with you. It is Destiny in a way. Like, of course, you think about like
Yeah.
Destiny 1, you have the Cosmodrome, the Moon, Venus, Mars, and that's like Destiny in a sense. I definitely agree with your points. It's, you think about, you see just the screenshot here, and the first thing I think of is those opening scenes where you're the ghost is awakening us, and you go into the walls of the Cosmodrome and stuff like
It's
that.
so cool, dude. And I remember
It is.
even the E3 video, like the E3 announcement when they show it. I remember
Yeah.
seeing that and having no clue at all what the game was. Like thinking I'm gonna be able to go through that whole entire wall. Like I can go anywhere because that's what they like made it seem like. But
Yeah,
it's really
yeah.
not. You can't really go everywhere. But
I agree. I think A is a good spot.
and there's mystery to it because I feel like you know how like Destiny changed about like a couple. What was it like 6 months or something before it launched? They like redid. Maybe it was a year before. I don't remember. They like redid a bunch of stuff. And I think
Uh-huh.
there's a bunch of stuff the Cosmodrome was supposed to be meant for that got scrapped, and I feel like there's mystery there to like. I'm always thinking like, I wonder if like this spot was supposed to be for this, and if there was, and I feel like I'd love to see what the Cosmo Run was before the collapse and all that good stuff. But
Yeah,
that
that'd be
all
cool.
kind of goes into my mindset for it.
That'd be cool. Mr. Aki, you have Mercury. This is
D
a
tier.
D2 exclusive. Yeah, I
Yes,
think that was
sir,
pretty
bro.
obvious.
Mercury sucks, bro.
Yeah,
It's
Mercury's
it's,
pretty
it's
terrible.
oh gosh, man. I wanted to like it. I wanted to like it so much.
2 tokens
but
and a
just-
blue, baby.
Oh man, it was the end of the Activision era, and it was just such a disappointing. It was an expansion. We got that as our destination in an expansion. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Oh,
but the
anyway,
infinite
I'm sorry.
forest, it was infinite.
the only cool thing that came out of the Infinite Forest was the Haunted Forest. Don't at me.
Yeah, you're right. You're
I
not
think the
wrong.
only thing that came out of Mercury that were good was the strikes. I think the strikes were
The
fantastic.
strikes were pretty cool. Yeah.
The guard world and tree of probabilities are some of my favorite strikes in this game, but they're no longer in the game. So
Still a D tier
Actually-
destination.
yeah, it is D tier. I agree. I have nothing really else to say. Like you can literally stand at one point and see the whole entire space.
Mm-hmm.
Not really much to it. All right, Luke, I'm assuming you agree.
Yes, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I hate Mercury.
All right, we have I
All my
got
homies hate
Mars
Mercury.
again. Okay, Mars, but D2 version. I think.
Ooh.
I think it's safe. I think it's safe to say that these are both. You know, if I give Mars D1 and a C, and Mars D2 is quite literally just a better
Escalation
version.
protocol.
Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. It's not Mercury, but it's not anything better than
Dude,
the
wha-
D1 version.
I would only
Yeah.
I would put it at the only reason I would put it one step higher is because Warmind. I think Warmind was a good DLC. If I'm being
Warmind was a
honest.
Oh, I
very good
totally
DLC.
agree.
Agreed.
I totally
Really
agree.
fun story wise.
The story was great, and after Curse of Osiris, I mean, I guess anything. Maybe that's why it was so great. But
Yeah. I think Escalation Protocol was a very underrated event.
was
as well, too. I
awesome, dude.
really enjoyed it. I just don't
Yeah.
think
And it was
that the loot
hard.
was worth it. Yeah, though it was terrible. I mean, you had to literally scam the matchmaking and get 9 people in there just to complete
just to
it.
complete it, like I remember
Yeah.
getting my Icola shotgun the first time, like the
Yeah.
ball and roll with trench barrel.
Uh-huh.
That was like so hard to get, like unbelievably hard. I like when stuff's like unbelievably hard, where you have to like glitch the game to get 9 people in there. That's kind of fun.
That was fun, and that's why it's not a D tier for me. It's because of the events that took place, and they
Yeah.
have some really good.
The
lost
actual
they have
map.
some good lost
Yeah.
sectors, and I mean Mars is still used now with the battlegrounds and stuff like that. I mean, it's still a relevant space in
The
Destiny 2.
GM
so
this week, right? Is one of them.
I think it is. Yeah.
I was just about to say, like, that was actually one of the things that made me hate it more. Is I hate Heist Battlegrounds, and that one
Yeah.
specifically is so boring. It makes me want to fall asleep. Actually,
Yeah.
I think I've fallen asleep doing it when I was trying to do stuff for a seal. I've sat at this
Mars one
desk.
is a little long. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Luke, you're up. You have Plague Lands.
Oh, bruh. I don't know. This is a tough one.
This is a tough one.
I love the Plague Lands. Like, that's such a cool place. I'm putting it in S tier.
I agree.
It's
I
so
think Plague
cool.
Lands is one of my favorite places.
It's such a cool lore perspective too, that there's this giant plague land that is just connected to the Cosmodrome that was just quarantined off that no one knew about. I love it.
I love
And
it.
it's like
I love
so pretty
Siva.
too.
I love the Rise of Iron. I think Plague Lands is neck and neck with.
And it's
Dreadnought as
cool
one of
you
the
can
coolest
see
places.
the plague lands from the like Iron Tower or whatever, the mountain area. You can like see
Yeah.
all of it from over there. It's
Yeah, I would almost consider that Plague Lands because it came out at the same
It is,
time and stuff
and
like
you-
that. So
you like that first mission, you like climb that mountain to get there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. I forgot.
Yeah.
I always forget how good that stuff was.
Rise of Iron was gas. I don't care what anybody says.
It was good, dude. It honestly was. That was one of my
Uh,
faves.
I would go back and play that whole DLC right now.
I know it's making me want to go back and like just get a brand new account and just play it
Yeah.
from scratch.
Hey, if you're on PS4, I'm all for it.
I'll play on my PS5. I got you though. We can play together still.
It works.
All right, back to you, Mr. Aki. We have Titan.
So I thought Titan was neat back in the Cade 6 days when you had his stashes and some of the other things that went on around Titan. But I mean, on the whole, I would probably put it in the C tier, if I'm being completely honest. I mean,
Okay.
I think it got vaulted for a reason. It's an interesting destination. I think there were some really cool things that happened on it. I enjoyed some of the lost sectors and strikes that were there, but on the whole,
7th in song, one of the best strikes, in my opinion.
I do miss that strike a lot.
I hate that strike. No offense.
It had really cool. The whole story was just really neat.
I was just like, oh, cool. The person's dead at the end. Great. That was fun. I'm glad we went all the way to the end for this big ball to have killed this person. I hate Titan. It's my least favorite place.
I like Titan, but I think there wasn't much to it that we expected. I think the coolest part about Titan was that strike and where it took you, if that makes sense.
I guess, yeah,
'Cause
that part of Titan, like the big room,
Yeah.
like the big buildings. They didn't use
Did you guys
enough of
ever
those.
realize that it was randomized as well too? That strike, like you could go.
Yeah, there's
two
different
multiple
ways.
paths.
Yeah, I
This
didn't
is
notice
really
that for
neat.
the longest time. And I'm like, why does the strike feel different every time? And I realized it depended on which door you went into first, whatever. Like you could, but
I
you
don't
did
know
it.
Are there any other
backwards.
strikes that are like that are
I don't think
randomized
so.
in the path that you can take?
I don't think so.
It's
So I thought
cool.
that was pretty interesting, but I definitely would put it in the same. I like C. C's a good spot. It's not
Yeah.
as good as Venus, not as bad as Mercury.
Yeah. Oh,
I think it's just
safe landing
I
spot.
think it was just not used properly. It's a really cool
agree.
looking place. Like even when you're doing that one mission where you like drive the drakes or whatever at the end, you like look
Yeah.
down and there's like this huge area with like trees and like a whole map could be inside of one of those buildings. I feel like they
Yeah.
could have used that rather than
Yeah.
just like the outside area. But I'm
I
sure they
totally
will.
agree.
I mean, there's like rumors that it's coming back. I don't really know.
There are rumors that it's coming back.
So maybe they will use it differently, but I don't know.
I certainly hope that there's more of an expansion to it than just reprising it. So.
Probably just usually what they do is make you do missions backwards, and then they count that as new. That's what they did back in the day.
Well, I
Right.
felt like I spent a lot of time exploring that building, just like looking for hidden nooks and crannies because it was so neat.
Yeah, there's a lot to it that I think that it could have been, like Titan's
Yeah.
like it could have been type planet, like
Absolutely.
there's so much more to it that we thought, but it just wasn't there.
Yeah.
But also I think it had one of the coolest things that I liked was that public event where you had the witch and then the knight came out of the portal.
Yeah.
I always remember doing that public event for some reason. I think it had something to do with the quest, but it was so neat how you had to turn that one into turn it into a heroic and stuff like that.
Yep.
So, all right, I'm gonna be really harsh here. I'm putting Io at D.
Oh, good. I hate Io.
I'm not a big fan of Io, and I don't know why. I think it's like just the mid planet out of the 4 or stuff like that.
The
Like,
only good thing about it is the what is it? It's not called Black Spindle. Whatever it's called in this
oh
game.
yeah. The I know which one you're talking about. God, now I can't think of what it's called. The Whisper. Yeah, Whisper the Worm. Whisper mission was about the only good thing about it. Also, Pyramidian Strike. I actually love that a lot. That brought you into a really sick place of the planet, but like that's it. Like quite literally, this photo here is the only cool thing about Io. It's like that entrance to the area.
I thought it was
And,
kind of fun to jump around and explore it a little bit, but
Yeah. I just don't
Eventually
think
got tired
there
of-
wasn't much surface level to it. There was a lot of different things that you can go into. Like there was also that one strike that came out for like maybe like half a year that I can't even remember the name of it, but it's on IO. It's to the left of this area, and that was a really cool strike. Festering Core, yeah, Amphi knows everything. The Festering Core was on IO as well too, so it had 2 really cool strikes. But other than that, I didn't really find IO very worth a damn.
I
So
also eventually got tired of Ashramir yelling at me all the time.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the worst vendor, bro. I hate Asher. And now
I mean, like
Okay.
I miss him now that he's gone, and I
let
think
me
there's
add
some
something
neat-
real quick.
Go ahead, go
IO
ahead.
did have some of the coolest and best planetary armor. The
Yes.
armor that he sold was some of the best planetary armor that Destiny 2 had. I thought that was
Yeah.
the Jensen Knight armor set.
actually,
That
you're
was
right.
really
I
sick.
run that cloak from that still.
Yes, so
Yeah.
let me just say that. So that maybe that would put it like in a D plus at the most. But... All right, Mr. Luke, you have EDZ.
EDZ. I love the EDZ. I keep getting Earths. But it's also a like beginner place, I feel like. Like there's not
Yeah.
much to
It's
it.
Destiny 2's
So
first.
I'd probably put it in the B tier.
I think it's a good spot.
It's a good.
agree with that.
It's cool. There's a lot that I think they missed out on. Like I think the Forbidden Forest or whatever it was called. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, the Dark
Coulda-
Forest or
Could
something
have
like that.
could have been like an actual giant area that we could have went into, but And I also wish you could go to the farm from. I wish you could go from the farm to the EDZ like simultaneous, like actually do it. Not it's not just like you can see it and you have to fly there. But that's something I wish you could do with everything. And that's probably not until the next. If they like do another Destiny, that's probably not something that's gonna happen in this one. But yeah, B. Easy B.
I agree. We're agreeing way too many.
Yeah, this
many
is not
times
good.
here.
We're supposed to hate each other and like
Yeah.
fight about it.
I think for me, I'd almost put the EDZ in the A tier just because of how much has happened in the EDZ.
I
over
was gonna
time.
say
You think
that
about it.
EDZ is a
Like think about the Red
huge-
War campaign, right? Like going to the Shard of the Traveler and
Mhm.
slowly reclaiming your light, and everything that happened in the farm and the EDZ, and just over time and expansions and the newly refreshed Arms Dealer and Lake of Shadows strikes, like they've been touched up really nicely. They've done a really good job with
That's
those
true.
two strikes.
I think it's a good in between. I'd go B plus A minus type deal. Like
Yeah.
if there was another tier in between. I
I
agree.
just feel like it's got a lot of history and a lot of, I mean, it new Avalon, Node Avalon or whatever, that whole thing. You explore the EDZ to unlock and launch that and stuff. And I don't know, there's a lot of stuff that's happened in the EDZ over the years to put it slightly higher, somewhere in between. I would agree, probably B plus A minus for me.
Okay, cool. All right. I have Nessus. This is an interesting one because this one reminds me of like a Venus 2.0. Like this is what Venus would have been if Venus was in Destiny.
I agree.
You know, I kind of have the similar vibes, so I'm gonna kind of give it the same Venus. I mean, it even has like the same suffix.
It's massive though. I feel like it's like the biggest map, and other than
There
the
is
Dream
a lot
City.
to it, and I'm a big fan of the Vex in this, and just like as a whole. So I think that's one reason why I kind of like it more than, what Venus was, because there's just more Vex to it. There's a lot of different things. You have like the whole entire big, huge Vex waterfall, and just all the Vex tech and stuff like that. The inverted spire strike, which was in the beta, which was really cool to see. So we got to like travel around Nessus from like the beginning of Destiny 2, and there's a lot of cool nooks and crannies, like with the lost sectors as stuff as well too. You even had some of the Black Armory stuff there with the I can't remember what the thing was called, but
Forges.
the forges. Yeah, there was two forges on Nessus actually.
So
The Izanagi Forge and the started with a G.
Oh shoot, yeah.
The Galfanin Forge or something like that. And so those are really cool. I think Nessus, it's not as good as the Tangled Shore and the Moon, but it's like the Venus of Destiny 2 for me.
Yeah, and it was cool when it first gets not there now because it's changed. But when it first came out, the
where you
giant,
interacted with Emperor Callus's
yeah,
butler,
what was his
Leviathan
ship?
and all
The
that.
Leviathan. You could
Oh,
see
yeah,
it.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
like
with-
it was sucking the planet up. Like you
Yep.
could see it in the backdrop.
Right. It has it had the Season of Opulence little thing there as well. Yeah.
I
remember
think
seeing that.
I think it's a good B also because it's another one which it looks like was a trend with D2 locations. Is I feel like it was another underutilized place. Like there should have been a raid there or some sort of lore that like made it way more
Leviathan
important.
technically was at Nessus.
Yeah,
He
kind
launched
of.
it
in a
I mean,
Nessus, but it got yoinked. So
yeah, I meant like just like in Nessus, like no Cabal. I
Oh,
freaking
yeah.
hate Cabal. So let's cut Cabal out, and it's just Nessus. It's such a cool location that, like again, it's just a cool location. I don't have any memories there other than like helping Cade because he like got stuck there.
he trapped himself in
Yeah.
the Vex freaking loop or whatever.
And doing
Like-
a million forges for the blacksmith seal.
Way too many forges.
So
All right. Oh, go ahead.
personally, for me, I would put it A tier because of failsafe.
Oh, you like failsafe?
Oh, see,
I
failsafe
love
is a downgrade.
failsafe.
I hate
I
failsafe.
love failsafe. That whole like dual personality thing, I just think is hilarious. And from a lore perspective, like the end game of AI, like the split brain thing, I don't know. I think it's kind of neat. So that's okay. This is where we disagree.
This
So
is
there
we
go.
finally get disagree. Yeah. We better not disagree on this next one, Luke. Where are we putting the Dreaming City?
Ooh.
D, just kidding. S tier, baby.
My
Oh,
man.
I was about to already throw hands.
This is the best. This is probably the best location in Destiny overall, in my opinion.
Overall,
Like,
okay.
I think it's beautiful. It feels like a fantasy, like alien shooting video game world that
You know
I
what?
just
Actually,
like.
I think we need to do this.
You adding another row.
S plus. Yeah.
We're giving the Dreaming City S
Oh crap!
plus.
There we go. Let's
Whatever.
let's go ahead and fix this real quick.
We're gonna
Yes.
give it the new. It gets a new.
It gets a new.
Huge.
I think Dreaming City deserves to be in a mind of its own. I think
Yeah.
Dreaming City is by far the best place in this entire video game.
Yeah. I agree.
Raid,
I mean, Last Wish. In and
everything.
of itself is just, gosh, man.
You have a whole entire like Ahamkara goddess below you, and it's just by far the best raid, the best location, some of the best lost sectors. You have the what, like a totally different world in there as well too, like with the throne worlds and stuff in there as well too.
Blind
Like,
well.
the
yeah,
Ascendant
the Blind
Realm.
Well. Oh, it's fantastic. I think by far, without a doubt. And if you would have said anything different, I would have thrown hands.
Yeah. I would have been kicked out of
Absolutely.
6 fronts immediately.
Yeah.
Effective immediately.
All right. We have Europa, Mr. Aki. The last one. Where we throwing Europa?
Honestly, I really, really like Europa. I think it's a
Okay.
great destination. Deepstone Crypt is right underneath Last Wish. I think is my favorite raid in regards to the music and the aesthetic, and the whole thing is just, I think, fantastic top to bottom. And I love snow, so like it's also just kind of goes with my whole aesthetic. So I'm gonna put it in the S tier for me. For
Okay.
Europa. I
Interesting.
Really like Europa.
Okay.
Yep. I really liked it as a
Interesting.
destination. And I thought that the heist battlegrounds in Europa was really fun. I enjoyed that one a lot.
Okay. I don't disagree. I think it's a strong opinion to put an S. I would maybe go A. I think it's in the same build or same boat as we talked about, like Cosmodrome or whichever
Yeah.
one being more A plus, S minus, or
The reason I
we were
put it
talking about
above
Nessus, but-
Cosmodrome is because of the Deepstone Crypt. Like that
Okay.
whole raid and experience. Like it has a raid, and it's a fantastic raid, and Deepstone
Mhm.
Lullaby is beautiful and amazing. And just especially when we look at like Season of the Seraph and everything that happened there, and the ties with Clovis Bray, and just like that whole lore. And
That is
Elsie
true. It
and
does
the Exo
have all
Stranger
that in
and
there. I
just
forgot.
all of that is just there's so much rich stuff that ties directly into what's going on right now in Destiny's story, that it elevates it above those other destinations for me into the S tier.
You want to know one of the coolest things, and this is just like a nitpicking thing about Europa, is
Sure.
how like the snow in that one area gets heavier.
Mhm.
At
That's
some point in
everywhere. It
time.
like blizzards sometimes.
Yeah, I thought that
the
was really
rotating
cool. I think that's a
blizzard
really
section.
cool, like, just small thing that
Br-
Europa does.
Bro, this is where I disagree like so hard with you guys. I would
Really?
put it. I hate Europa. I'd put it in a D tier. Like
Really?
Beyond Light's like my least favorite DLC I've ever played. I hate Deepstone Crypt. The only thing I like about Europa is the snow, like the snow, like weather stuff.
Just the fact that it's a snowy planet.
I don't
Okay.
I don't feel any sort of way towards you guys for loving it, but I just don't vibe with that spot. I don't know why. I just didn't. I just didn't like it. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't ever go back unless I have to. But
I mean, that's,
I'm just saying I had to
that's
say it
understandable.
because I gotta add the polar opposite opinion on that one.
We had to have it in
I'm
there
just glad we
somewhere.
actually had some areas where we truly diverged. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
same. We don't
just
have
glad we all
Niamuna on here. Where would we put Niamuna?
Yeah, so Niamuna, where would you guys put Niamuna? Let's
Oh,
collectively
man.
talk about this so far.
I want to get a lot of flack for this comment, but I don't
Okay.
like listening to Nimbus chat in my ear all the time. Like it would-
Okay.
I would probably put it B or C personally.
Oh, I
I
put
think
agree.
the
it.
aesthetic is beautiful. I think it's a gorgeous destination. I haven't been back there since completing the campaign.
Yeah. I haven't done much post.
As soon as I finished the seal, I never went back and I never will. C, 100%. I hate it. I think
Yeah,
it's like
I'm going C.
I thought it was gonna be a freaking city, like they said it was gonna be, but no, the skybox is the city. We get to play in this like little tiny area over on the outskirts of the city. That bothers me like tremendously for some reason.
I think that the strike they added with it was really cool, and that's probably the only saving grace at this point.
Yeah.
Like Root of Nightmares doesn't take place in Niamuna at all. It's off
Just in space.
and inside of the pyramid that was shot in the opening sequence of the campaign. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
I agree. It was, and I even made a very bold prediction before Lightfall dropped that I thought Niamuna would be like Dreaming City-esque, and I was completely
You were
wrong.
so wrong. I knew you when you were
I
saying that on
was
the podcast.
so
I'm like,
wrong.
bro, that's not gonna happen. There's no way.
Yeah.
I was so
tried.
wrong. So we had Niamuna to C, and there's your Destiny 2 destination tier list, boys and girls. There you go.
We need to get a theme song that plays like in between these for this.
There you go.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's me.
Cool. All right. Now let's talk a bit more drama. And I say drama because, and not what you guys might be thinking about, but there's a big thing that's happened over the past weekend where Destiny 2 servers have been a huge issue. Aki, I see you nodding your head. Take us through what, like, just the server issues. One, let's talk about them as a whole and what's been happening, but also take us through like how it's affected your gameplay or what you've been trying to do and stuff.
I think ever since, I don't know, honestly, it feels like the past 6 to 8 months probably of Destiny, we've noticed just kind of a degradation in the stability of the game overall. And it's been kind of more and more frequent in regards to the issues that we've seen, and particularly over the past couple weekends, which is, that's prime time, right? Last night, we were looking at putting together a Petra's run, and we were like, nope, not going to do that, because
Not happening. Yeah.
you get one encounter down and all of a sudden somebody gets kicked to orbit and the whole run is just completely torpedoed. And so I feel really bad for anybody that was, I thought about trying trials last night. The second I saw that all the server issues were going on, I just decided to watch Dragon Ball Z with my kids. Like, it was like, I'm not going to hop in and try to suffer through this and then get kicked out in the middle of a PvP, high-end PvP match, or trying to do anything else sweaty. So it's difficult because you want to go in and you have a limited amount of time to enjoy the game. Particularly, it's been in the evenings, it feels like, the past few times. And you haven't been able to sit down and have a lot of motivation to hop in and try to fight server issues.
Yeah, they're really detrimental. And my experience so far, I've been in trials, and like, you just quite literally, you'll load in if you're lucky, and if you do, it's like it's a 1v3 or like a 2v1 and stuff, or I even had a 1v1 for my flawless game last night. It was hilarious. I'm just like, it sucks because, and what I hated about it is, I was streaming during Saturday afternoon, and the server issues quite literally made me just like end stream. Like, I was having a blast, everything was going well, playing with some friends I haven't ever played with before and stuff, and just enjoying the game for what it is. And then the server issues hit, and it's just like, oh, it's just like a big, like, I don't know, like a big FU. There goes your fun type deal, and that's what sucks about it.
And I feel bad for the devs, because I feel like, obviously there's something going on in the back end that is a cascading issue that they're trying to deal with. And, it just feels like there's something underlying within Destiny itself that has caused things to be a little bit more unstable, especially ever since Lightfall launched. And so I hope they're able to get to the root of that without having to do some sort of drastic thing like sunsetting again, because we all know that was their excuse for doing it the first time, right? Was, trying to streamline the code and all of that. But
well, here's what I saw on Twitter, and tell me if you guys think this is a good idea, bad idea. Give me your thoughts. Someone said that they should completely halt the servers for Destiny 1. Like, the game should just be done. Or they should progress to next gen only, to kind of push out PS4, Xbox 360, different stuff like that, or Xbox One, excuse me. And
so personally, I struggle with both of those answers.
Okay.
As someone who loves things to be accessible for as long as possible. I mean, like I said, I grew up a PC gamer. I still will go back and play games from my childhood because I can on my PC, right? And so the thought of any sort of access being removed for anybody is something I kind of like. I imagine that's probably Bungie's stance as well, which is why they're still up, right?
Yeah.
They want as many people to be able to enjoy the content they put out for as long as possible. But if that becomes the only option, it'd be kind of neat if they could do some sort of, well, here, obviously you can't do anything about previous platforms, but particularly with like Destiny 1, it'd be kind of neat if there was some way to bring that forward to, here it is sitting alongside of Destiny 2, choose your, install option or something along those lines where you could enjoy that content still. But I don't know. That's a difficult thing and a total, like, developer expensive probably question.
I think I would definitely love to see more of a release of the old gen before I saw the shutdown of Destiny 1, strictly just because that's like my whole childhood, it seems like,
Yeah.
or like my whole like teenagehood of playing Destiny and stuff like that. So it would suck to see that kind of go away. I don't Do I see myself going back and playing Destiny 1 anytime soon? Probably not, unless Luke was talking about it earlier. But I
Well, I
don't
mean, the
know. I
thing about
just
it
think
is if you're gonna, so Destiny 1 was released on what generation? Xbox 360, PS3, right?
yeah, yeah.
And so if you're gonna shut down Destiny 2, was that also on Xbox 360?
No, Destiny
PS3?
2
No,
was
so that was
only
just
on
PS4.
PS4 and up, yeah.
Yeah. So technically, you wouldn't be shutting down. I mean, I imagine they're separate servers. I'd have to imagine that. So
I'm pretty
yeah, I don't
sure
know.
they stopped supporting PS3 and Xbox 360 on Destiny 1 near the end of its not supporting it, but they stopped like giving it DLCs. I can't remember. Do you know what I'm talking about? There was like it was like
I think I know what you're talking
a
about, yeah.
legacy. They called them like legacy consoles or something, where it was
Right,
they
right. So
only put stuff on PS4 and Xbox 360. I mean, I
there
never
was a point in
played
time, I think it
Destiny
was
on.
Rise of Iron was like the
Yeah, I
start
think
of
that's what it
like
was. Yeah.
only updating and giving it to the new gen at that time, of course, and then updating from there. And then of course Destiny 2 was PS4 and up. And I'm thinking that they might need to cut that tie, to PS4 and Xbox One. I think those ties need to be cut. I think it's time. I mean, yeah, I will sit here with my 3060 Ti and Intel core processor and barely, be able to play the video game in its state now, which I should be able to. I have to like optimize in the most utter embarrassing way for my, tank of a PC just to manage it whenever
Yeah.
that shouldn't have that issue. And I wonder if cutting those ties would strengthen, what people have. And I just think the game itself deserves that. We deserve to be able to play in 4K 60 or 4K 30. I'm not sure what it is, or 1440p
I don't want to
60. I
play
think it's
4K 30. I'm good. The
Not
is it
four-
Redfall
4K
though.
60.
Yeah.
I know one of something it
Yeah.
gets supported 4K
So
60.
PS5 and PS5 does 4K 60. Xbox One, Series X, and not Series S that only does 1440p. I've been playing Destiny on my Xbox Series X and my PS5, and I have like no like I don't. It's like actually kind of nice sometimes going back to the console because it's so nice. Like I'm barely dealing with server issues. I'm like
Yeah,
frame rates are set to what they are, and
right.
it's I don't know if that's because it's a console and that's what consoles are for. They're supposed to just be easy and they should just work, right? But what were you
It
saying,
is
Aki?
interesting. I will say any Lightfall content, my computer struggles a lot more with, and I have a
Mhm.
5950X, 6900 XT graphics card. Like I have a
Yeah.
beefy rig. Any Lightfall content, my computer is like, it kind of coughs out a little bit more than it would anything before Lightfall. Like going into old dungeons and stuff, old raids, no big deal. Even Rooted Nightmares for the most part isn't too bad. Trying to wander around on Neomuna just tanks my frame rate. It's crazy. I don't understand what it
It's
is.
just odd how I don't even know how to explain. I'm the last person to ask when it comes to stuff like this, of course. But man, it's just very interesting to see like how different things like that are. Where you go into anything Lightfall, like, and that should be your new expansion. You shouldn't
Yeah.
have that type of detriment to your gameplay and stuff. Where you want to play the new content, but your computer struggles or your console struggles, whatever.
My
I don't know.
last thing I'll say on that is
Yeah.
if they're going to cut off old consoles, old generations, and let's particularly like let's say Destiny 1, I hope that they do some sort of patch where it's like you can still go through and you can enjoy the story. You may not be able to do anything online anymore if they're going to shut off servers and stuff, but you
Yeah.
can still at least, enjoy the legacy content, as it were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like you said, port it forward in some way.
Yep.
That would be interesting as well too. But I wonder if that would cause even more issues.
Yeah, I
Who
don't know
knows?
how
Who
any
knows?
of this stuff works. I just know that it's 2023 and there's got to be some sort of tech that they're probably working on behind the scenes with their new building and all this stuff that is
Mhm.
probably going to either fix this or like we've been speculating there's something coming next that they're just like waiting for and they're just trying to
Yeah.
push through this, right? Like
Bungie has created some of the most memorable video game experiences of all time. I can't imagine that they don't either A, have a solution, or B, diligently working on one. So
Mhm. I agree. Because it sucks. It sucks seeing people literally like end their stream and their fun because of things like this that happen.
Yeah, but
And no explanation, by the way.
think
Let me
about
point that out.
like other people though. Like, is it just like all I hear is people complaining about it as streamers and like it's ruining their
Sure.
streams and this and
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
Where
that's
like
that's
I'm
just what I
playing, I'm
see,
not
me
having these
personally.
issues. Maybe
Yeah.
the servers in Ohio, like this, I don't know. Like I'm not having the same issues as everyone else, and I'm not
Yeah.
also like it's different. If I'm like flawlessing something and then it goes off, it's probably gonna ruin my night. But at the same time, like when I get kicked for whatever, I'm like, oh, whatever, I got kicked. Like, but I understand if it's someone's livelihood and they're like
Right.
trying to like get people
doing
flawless and all
trials
that
carries or
stuff. Like,
something,
I
yeah.
get it, but I also like, I'm wondering if it seems like it's more intense because of Twitter and content
Absolutely.
creators, or if it isn't as big of an issue. I don't really know. Like, is there statistics out there saying that it's like physically like worse right now?
I don't know.
It's
What does
just
Reddit say?
it's been more evident because I mean, me personally, I've been watching people like quite literally just can't play the video game or can't stream it, nothing like that, and they just at the end, they're like, I can't do this. I'm gonna play a different game or whatever at this point, and it just sucks to see that. But yeah, I do agree that it's I definitely think it's more so just like Twitter, kind of making it worse than what it actually is, of course, type deal. But I mean,
Whatever's
just
happening on Twitter, it's like a
left-
couple notches down in real life.
yeah, exactly. So let's based on time here, let's get into our last little talking point. And we do want to remind you guys that of course we do stream this live on Twitch every time we go. Every time you hear us on Spotify or
Switching
see
to
us
Kick
on
soon. Just kidding.
YouTube.
Just kidding.
Yeah, we signed a deal with Kick, $1 million a
Just
month.
for me and Maddox.
But yeah,
$1
you guys
million.
can come in here and you guys can talk to us live. You guys can ask our guests questions and stuff like that, and just kind of join in with the conversation. We may not recognize you in chat, but we do see what you guys are saying, and we appreciate you guys being here. So, our last little talking point, which you guys like to know, we get to do a hot take of the week, and I came up with this one, and we kind of all agreed that this is a good one here for Aki, and we'll explain why. And this week's hot take of the week is Destiny 2 solo experience is awful. And let me explain that real quick before we get into the conversation. Is one, we start with a new light campaign. We start with being a fresh Destiny player, and you are absolutely, utterly confused on what you need to do and the whole basics of the game. I don't think the new light experience is fantastic, and you don't have anybody there to explain it to you. And Aki, I want you to repeat what you said to me earlier as well too about your daughter. But one, you have so many things other than you take away LFG, and there's quite literally things that people just wouldn't complete because one, they don't have friends to play with. Two, the content is just way too hard to solo, and they don't care to put in the effort and stuff and get better. But
And let's be
I-
clear, LFG is not a part of like Destiny itself.
Exactly,
right now.
exactly,
That's
that's
a
what I'm
third
saying, like-
party experience.
Exactly. So if
At
people
this
don't even
point.
know what LFG is, yeah, hopefully very soon I think is coming out, of course, in game. But if people don't know what LFG is, man, you're going into this game. I mean, you saw with Lightfall all the new people that came to this video game, all the new streamers, all the new content creators that came through, and they're just confused, utterly confused about what the game is and stuff like that. Of course, they see like the outer shell of what Destiny is and stuff like that. It's a looter shooter and stuff like that. You go through, you get weapons, you get armor and stuff like that. You build up the power level. But it's just like they don't see what Destiny is as a whole, like kind of how we look at it. Of course, we've been playing it for a long time. So,
Mhm.
what do you guys think?
Well, this is what I said in the pre-show when we were just kind of going over this topic briefly. But my daughter has told me multiple times if I didn't play Destiny 2 with her, she wouldn't play the game, and she hops on with some of her other young childhood friends that she has in Discord, and they'll play together, but she doesn't play just on her own.
Mhm.
She'll do some things solo that I have already like helped her through and like walked her through and helped her clear, but the new light campaign doesn't teach anything about how armor mods work, weapon synergies, your artifact. Like there are so many things within the game that it literally says, okay, here's your abilities, here's how you ult, here's risk runner, have fun.
Yeah, time to go complete 7,000 quests that you have no clue how to even start.
So, and it's I appreciate that Liana recently they put out obviously a new player guide, which I think is great. There's a written piece of documentation on Bungie's official website that you can go to. That isn't in game, and there's no way you wouldn't know how to find that unless you're online, doing some Google searching. So.
Yeah.
What do you think, Luke? Because you're, I mean, almost a solo player in yourself because you get on really late at night and stuff. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I get on late. I got a thick friends list, but they're all usually doing content. But I think the solo experience is tough, honestly, because it's not so bad at the beginning. Like, sorry, let me rephrase that. So let's say like you're a brand new player, like the brand new solo experience, I can't even imagine. Like any friend that I've ever had that came in to play, most likely if they're not crazy left because they were like, there's way too much here. Like I don't even know where to start. Like maybe a friend that's played an MMO or an RPG or something that like takes effort to like think and figure out like all this stuff and even what a quest is. Maybe they get stuck in, because I do know like once you get to a certain point, I've seen my friends like just go all in, kind of deal. But for me as a solo player, like I guess I am more of a solo player because I don't have, and that goes back to my casual thing. So once I started becoming more casual, I started getting, it's not like I got left behind, but I do have the homies that get on at the same time. And how it is. You get a couple friends, you play with them every night. Like I have those guys, but our schedules are on different points now. So I don't like get on at the same time as my friends like I used to and like get in Discord and play. So like I have to either find a group on the LFG Discord to do stuff, or I have to ask friends, which I'm cool to do, but I don't like to ask friends too much because this is where it gets weird, where I'm casual, where I don't get to play enough. So I don't want my friends to think when I'm getting on, I'm just getting on to ask them to help me with stuff. Like, so then I'm trying to figure out a way to like also do something they want to do. And then I'm like, but I only have so much time. So like, I really don't want to get stuck doing something that I don't really want to do, but it's like a whole thing. So like that's where and I think all of that.
This is the part where Luke needs to learn to DM me more often.
Yeah, I know Aki would literally do anything with me, honestly. But
absolutely.
No question. I think the problem is like what I was saying earlier is the solo experience isn't so bad for me if I'm like just playing like not end game stuff. Like when you're not doing like completionist like end game where you need three or 6 players to do something.
Sure.
Not so
Going
bad.
into trials on your own or something.
Yeah,
like
you
that.
can do that stuff on your own. I can do bounties on my own. I can work on different triumphs on my own. But then when it comes to like a master challenge or doing like
Gambit,
yeah, just anything. No, I don't do any Gambit.
Forehead.
Or if I want to like work on gilding a seal that I need to play comp with other players, that's where it starts to turn into like not a great experience for someone that doesn't have a lot of people that are. I mean, I have friends that are willing to play with me, but let's just pretend I don't have any friends and I have nothing to do. Like
exist.
I don't exist. I'm just a loser.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. But at the same time, in some ways, it's my own fault because sometimes I get very introverted when I sit down at my desk at night to play games where I don't want to reach out to anyone. I don't want to talk to anyone. I just want to play my game. And Destiny's not necessarily great for that because it's an interactive game where it's meant to like make friends and like play together and communicate. So some of that's on me, to be honest. In those senses, I'd rather just turn Red Dead Redemption 2 on and like be a cowboy for a couple hours in silence and watch YouTube videos.
Vampire Survivors. That's that for me.
I think Destiny 2 is simply put as a friend game. I think you're successful in this game if you have friends that play it with you. You have more fun, you make more memories, and you make more friends as well too with a group and stuff. And if it wasn't for like the OG group that I used to play with, we'd be on every single night, doing this, doing that, raid trials of the 9 at that point. Then I don't think I would have ever continued playing this game. Because there were points in time where I like just didn't understand the game because I played solo, and to a point in time where I'm like, I think that's what happened to. So my journey through Destiny, I bought it. I didn't know what the game was. I played with my like IRL friends, and they didn't like it, so I just like kept playing it. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I don't really care. I'm by myself. I don't really want to play this game anymore. And then it was like House of Wolves that dropped or something like that, and like someone that like. They like picked it up again, and then I started LFGing, and I found some friends, got in this little group, and then I've never put the game down since. and it's just because I'm just continuously making friends and memories. Dude, some of my favorite memories have been on this
Absolutely.
game and stuff like that. So I just solo experience. I just feel bad for those that are like, and I made a video about this as well too. And there were so many comments on TikTok. It did really well on TikTok. There were just so many comments. They were like, "Oh, I don't have any friends, so I never played the game past this point," or "Man, LFG sucks. I can't find anybody to do this with." I'm just like, man, I feel bad for you guys, but
This is why
you
these
know, like,
people need to go to Aki's stream. They can
And
become
that's
friends
the
with him.
problem that we're trying to solve. That's
yes,
it right
sir.
there.
So I just feel, I feel like just like empathy for those that want to play this game and love it for what it is, but just don't have the friends or are like scared to reach out. When I first started raiding, I didn't say a fucking word, dude. There was
Right?
no words that came out of my mouth because I had no clue what I was doing and I had no input other than just like, what do I do? And can someone please like don't kick me because I don't have Galahorn or something like that? Like, and I'm just like, dude, like now I'm just like, I don't shut up
Yeah,
during the
bro.
raid.
Now
Like
this
I
guy
know how to
won't
do
shut
it.
up in a raid, bro. Just kidding.
And it's just like, I don't know, like you find those group of friends that you end up being your friends and stuff, and
Yeah. The
you just do
homies.
more things,
I had
you
that.
play more
I
things,
think all
you
of
be
us,
more successful.
any of us, like all of us are obviously sitting here, so we all have had to, would have had to have that group because that's the only reason.
Exactly.
Like I had that Dr. Shabby, like you guys all know him.
Love that dude.
He's who I went to go get Destiny 1 with in line at GameStop at midnight when I was in college. Like I still play with him to this day. He's the only reason I came back to play this. I started playing it and then I quit because I had no clue what what any of this like shooter looter crap was.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
then
Exactly how I was.
he played, and then when I came back, him and my friend Shane, they helped me understand the game, and then I was hooked. And then in D2, I found my other group of friends. There's like, you probably know Snoop Dogg, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So like hit that. There was a group like Living Hero. Those guys, they're in California. So when I got on late, they'd be getting on also because it was only like 9 for them, and they helped me with like that was the first time I had an actual raid team because all of Destiny 1, me and Doc raided together and that was it. And we always LFG'd. We didn't have enough any more friends other than that because it was PS4. Like we had friend groups and party chats. We didn't have Discord or anything outside of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once we got into the D2 realm, and then it all changed for me like when I started streaming. Obviously that's when I met a ton of people, but man, it's crazy to see like those little tiny groups of friends that we had that like that one person you can probably remember that like helped you get actually connected to Destiny. That's what Doc was for me. But it sounds like you had your homies Maddox and then Aki.
Yeah,
I don't know.
did. Some of them
Honestly,
still
like so
reach
like
out
when
to
I
me this
played
day.
back in the day in the Red War campaign, there are a couple of the guys that I used to game with that are still like in my community. Like one of them like just joined, like helping like lead this new thing that we're doing and everything. And so I think back to running like the gauntlet and stuff with these guys, and it definitely goes back a long ways, and it's really neat to see those friendships over time that have come all this way. I just had a buddy of mine. He came to visit me. I've known him for 14 years. I met him in a Kotaku forum Steam group, playing Team Fortress 2 back in the day, and he's a huge Destiny tuner. We went to the Lighthouse and trials together, like in person. He had his laptop. We were sitting here like this, like chest bump after that. Like
That's
it was just
amazing.
such a huge high. It was so much fun. But all of these people that we've had for so long, it's just so neat to see that community continue to build and grow over time. It's really cool.
I still have one of my mods to this day is one of the guys I completed Callus with for the first time.
Yeah.
And the experience, he'll still bring it up to this day. You remember Callus whenever we first beat Callus and what happened, blah blah blah. I was like, of course I remember that. What happened was one of my buddies had like terrible internet. We'd always make fun of him. He'd always lag out every single time. We're like, dude, I don't want to do this raid with you because you always lag out. We did not complete Callus for 3 weeks. It took us 3 weeks to beat Callus because he would always join and we never finish it. We couldn't get damage phases, blah 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 blah. Because we were all new people. We didn't really know what the hell we were doing. And the time we beat Callus, he lagged out like after the first damage phase, and we 5-manned, and he like reconnected at the last damage phase, and we beat Callus.
That's amazing.
And I still like those people like to this day are still a part of my community now and stuff like. And I'm like named first name basis with them and stuff like that. It's
Freaking
really
awesome.
cool. And dude, it's
Yeah.
just if I would have never gotten a friend group like that, like I said, I just don't think I don't think I'd be where I am right now. I don't think none of this would have happened if it wasn't for like reaching out and becoming friends with people that like this game as much as I did and stuff. And
So cool.
if you're listening to this, and we encourage you to reach out, to swallow your pride, swallow whatever you have, your anxiety. I know that's easier said than done, but
No ego here.
yeah, dude, just don't be afraid to reach out and find some people that love the game as much as you are. You're gonna find some assholes. You're gonna find some really POSs, but there are people like Aki. There's people like Luke, and there's so many people in this community. People like Amphi as well too.
People like
Amphi's
Maddox.
hanging out with us, like Maddox, and that will teach you the game and take you to the point where you won't put this game
We'll
down.
take you
So,
to new places you've never been.
indeed.
That's right.
So, well, I'm glad we were all agreed to that, because that was a
Don't play solo, unless
Yeah, don't
you're
play solo.
doing
My
solo
friends.
content, because you're a beast.
yeah. Unless you're purposely soloing something.
Yeah, in which
Oh.
case, good for you.
There she is, Mama Peach.
Yes, there she is,
Hey, honey.
the Southern Peach. She has
Hell
an
yeah.
awesome accent, like one of the best. So
It's true.
we did it. The
Awesome.
podcast is over.
Yeah. Aki, do you have any questions for us, my friend? I guess we'll give you the floor.
Man, questions. How do I get to be as cool as you two?
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
You
no, I don't
not allowed.
necessarily have any questions. I'm really grateful that I got a chance to meet Luke, which meant I got to meet you, and to call you guys friends is a real privilege. And
Absolutely.
I'm hoping I can make it to GCX this year and come down and give you all both.
You better
We'll
be
be there,
there.
baby.
Me and him,
We'll be
we're staying in the same room. I'm sleeping in the same bed as his brother.
Let's go.
I guess. Yeah. I guess that.
I'm not sleeping with you. I would assume you'd be with your
Oh,
wife.
yeah, that's true. I forgot.
paused and
I
thought
do-
about
I-
this,
yeah, I
like, wait a
forgot.
minute.
I was like, wait, who's all going? I forgot.
Unless
I
you
was like,
want
I
to
thought
sleep
this
in
was-
bed with me, and then
Mikey can sleep on the
Mike
floor.
can
and
sleep on the
Reagan can
floor,
have the bed
and
to
then
herself.
Reagan can have her own bed.
Honestly,
Always.
one of us is gonna probably end up on the floor anyways. Let's be honest.
I'm not sleeping on the floor. I'm a grown adult, so
So I'm gonna tell this is the Aki After Dark joke that I'll tell, because I used to go to swim meets a lot. I was a competitive swimmer in high school, and so we shared beds in hotels and all that stuff. And the running joke was always it's pole to pole or hole to hole. None of this pole to hole business. So
There you
keep
go.
that in mind when you're sharing beds.
That's actually such a good one, bro. I love that.
There you go.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Hell yeah. Well, Aki, tell us one last time who you are, what you do, where you do it, all that good stuff. And
My name is Aki, part of Aki and Fam, and
is there-
I stream 5 nights a week over on twitch.tv/Aki and Fam. You can find me, Aki and Fam, on all social media platforms, and we would love to get to know you, love to build a relationship with you, love to game with you, play some Destiny 2 with you. Come on through.
Oh yeah, Mr. Luke.
my name is Bearded Luke. I am not streaming on Twitch currently, but if you want to, you should go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/beardedluke, and sub. I just started making content there that is going to be on a regular basis. I have a new video coming out this week. It's my everyday carry tech edition, so it's going to be all of the like.
What's a close up of that hat?
Oh yeah, also you should get a hat.
Yeah.
Make video horizontal again. Filmmakers hate horizontal video or vertical video because we film everything this way and it looks better. Anyways, I just threw out my first, like I'm kind of doing. I've talked about it on the podcast. Like I'm doing more of like a tech slash gaming slash filmmaking slash lifestyle channel. Kind of basically what my brand is. It's more just about like my life rather than Destiny. But I put out my first video, which is this room. It's my setup, and it's doing really good. And I've seen some very, very nice comments on there from very nice people that have been very encouraging and motivating to continue to make those. I kind of wanted to make one, see how it did, and then go from there. So this week we have a new video, and I'm going to try to do them weekly. It's not going to always be possible, but please go support me because I'm trying to make some vids over there. It's fun.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit different. It's a little bit outside of video games, but everybody needs that extra little entertainment factor outside of the game sometimes. So check me out there, please, or else I'm gonna cry. Maddox,
will.
where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me twice a week at twitch.tv/Maddox every Thursday and Saturday. Thursday we do scrims, so if you guys want to learn how to play Destiny 2 in a little bit more of a friendly competitive environment, you guys can catch me on Thursdays at 7 p.m. EST. And then Saturdays we hang out playing trials or PvP or something if we do stream on Saturdays. But then of course, we also been posting a lot more IRL content and like gym content and kind of showing you guys the ropes of how you recovery from knee surgery and some broken bones, all that good stuff. So just kind of motivating people to be healthier versions of themselves. So
I
will,
really enjoyed the gym content personally.
you.
You and Amphi both. It's like it's inspirational, and
Thank you.
just seeing the recovery and all of that, I think it just inspires me to persist and try to do better because I've fallen off the train a little bit myself. So
I love to hear that, dude. Thank you. And I even started wearing these bad boys.
Oh my gosh.
There you go. That's some content.
I got
ladies and
compression
gentlemen. Let's
sleeve
go.
on now for like whenever I'm playing games and stuff. So my ankle doesn't swell and stuff. And I
There
put a
you
little
go.
stool here. I can put my leg up a little bit whenever I'm gaming.
Nice.
So that helps out a lot. But
Very
overall,
cool.
going really well, man. And I appreciate that, Aki. Thank you so much because that's exactly what I'm looking for. Is that's like my currency in some way. Like that's what I like. I don't care about money and stuff like that with this. It's all just making sure people understand the message and hopefully it motivates them in some way. So
Yeah, absolutely.
oh yeah, take us away, Luke.
Sick. Well, thank you everyone for listening, watching live, watching on YouTube, wherever you're listening to this or watching this. We love you so much. We have another guest in a couple weeks. I don't know if it's confirmed, so I can't. Is it
Not confirmed yet? No.
All right.
Nope.
Well, we have another guest in a couple weeks, so keep an eye. Follow at Six Fronts GG on Twitter. That's where we will let you know what's going on with everything, and go follow us at youtube.com/I think Six Fronts. Honestly, don't know, but that's where all of
There
our
you go.
stuff is. It's all in the chat. We're so thankful that you support this podcast. It's been a fun 10 episodes so far. So congratulations.
Yeah, we're double
Maddox.
digits. We can't back off now.
This is real. We're having it. It's fun. We've had such a fun time. Aki, thank you so much for doing this, taking time on a Sunday night to talk to us. What a blast. It's an honor to have you on
It
here.
was an honor, dude. It was honestly like chatting with you guys is just an absolute. It's a blast, and so thank you guys so much for having me.
course.
I had a great time.
Anytime. It won't be the
course.
last time. We'll get you back on here for episode 20 in 10 episodes. So we got you.
Sounds good.
When we run out of people,
We run out of ideas.
we need like an easy guest that we know we can talk to for a while.
Aki's back on.
Bro, I got you.
All right, bro. Well, we love all of you. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time. Goodbye.